Solution to exercise 2. Initially, we've set the configurations as usual. However, this time, besides the delays and the peak library errors, we've included in the timer, as we're going to need to configure the timers, which is the main task of this exercise. And when you look into the main program, the main body of the program, we first of all we close all the previous timers, and then we open the new timer which we want to set. The timer input is enabled. The internal timer interrupt is enabled, and then we've also enabled the external source and set also the pre-scalars to our desired timer, and then we initialize PortD. We define PortD as an output, since this is where we shall be displaying our results. And then we also define give directions to port C, since it also has a flash which we need to turn on, so it will be an output. And then we initialize the value that we want to put in port D, which is 16. We enable the global input. Set once that we enable the global input, the timer is also enabled. However, we've disabled any previous interrupts of the timer. Then to perform our increases, this performs our increases, the timer low. What it does, it takes away from the maximum bits, which is 256, and takes away the timer low, which is about 4, which we initialized 240 to give us a range of 16. Now, every time it's performing a down count, and every time we press the internal interrupt, latch D, output in latch D decreases, and if it decreases up to 0, it causes an overflow, which is going to turn the int control bits of the timer, which was initially set at 0 to enable any previous interrupts. It now enables it, and then causing the program to branch into testing that interrupt right there. And then from here we go to check in the test routine. We go to deliver to execute the main service routine of that test interrupt, and we first of all time out all previous, because practically practically the microcontroller is so sensitive. So like by the time we even if we just like pressing one time at the switch, like but practically because the microcontroller is so sensitive, like it's like it has executed like about 1,000 switches. So to get the actual switch which we want, the interrupt, we first of all disable all those so that we can just get only that one. So we do that by putting in the 0, but then this, when we press it, the button, this is going to be a 1 now, and then we just turn on then it just then starts turning on the leads on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And then after that, it initializes back into the initial timer to go back and perform a continuous loop by going into again the main program to perform again the countdown. And the way we've enabled the flash is that it's really just like I said, we initialized it into the main first of all, and then you just literally enabling it here. And if you can look at the simulation of the code itself, you can see the flash is working properly. And if you are to test the countdown, and then we have a look at the overflow as well, and the timer. There we go, it's counting down, performing a down counter from 16 all the way down. And then once it reaches 0, an overflow, it branches out and then comes back, and this is all it does. Thank you. Just one more time. And then if it overflows, and that's it.